All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crypto Wolf back again, and we're doing another little trading psychology video here because I enjoy it. Plus, this one specifically is more than anything a reminder to myself. So let's get into it. It's going to be talking about trusting your gut, both in regards to trading and in life in general. So, real quick quote of the day: always trust your gut, and your intuition will steer you right every time. Was that Charisma Carpenter? Never heard of her, but real quick, the little picture down here on the left, what reminded me of this was there's a American Dad episode where Stan and this other dude and Roger like all have this thing where the guy got rich and like, how'd you get rich? He's like, oh, I just trust my gut. I do whatever my gut tells me. And like the one scene where they walk in, they're at this party, he's got these like ancient vases and he walks over and his gut rumbles and he just smacks the vase right off the little pedestal and it smashes on the ground. They're like, what are you doing? That was like $1 million vase or something. He's like, yeah, but I don't know. He's like, well, and then Roger's, he's like, my gut told me to. And Roger's like, you know what? He's like, now that other one's the only one left in existence. And now that one's priceless. And he's like, see, the gut steered me right once again. Kind of a silly example, but it was funny. I don't know, whatever. If you don't watch American Dad, I feel for you. It's a pretty funny show. I didn't necessarily like it at first, but my ex's sister got me into it, and then once you get into it, you're hooked. But all right, over here real quick, just got the Bitcoin chart open just to recap a little bit before we kick this off. You remember in the last video we drew this golden pocket up here? Well, look how that played out. I mean, literally had a precise bounce off of it right there. A little bit more resistance over here. We did have the push through almost up to the top of it, just like how we got rejected back here. But it's been hovering around. So that's been holding as resistance quite strongly. And we even came back down into the bigger golden pocket down here, but still getting a lot of support down there. We only made it like halfway on that one, but generally speaking, it's kind of been ranging just right between these two golden pockets. So that's what's going on lately. Obviously, it's the weekend, not a whole hell of a lot happening, but I'll turn this on a lower time frame so things are kind of moving and flickering and all that good stuff while I'm running my trap here. So let me pull up my notes. So yeah, trust in your gut. Now, so how many times have you looked at the chart, seen a trend, or figured that it was likely to go in a certain direction? So then you investigate a little further, and upon flipping through the time frames and scoping things out a little bit, you start to question whether that's really the case. You start second guessing yourself, and just indecision, and you just kind of, well, let's see what happens. We're going to let it develop a little bit, and you just walk away. Then later you come back and look at the chart and you saw that it did in fact do exactly what you originally thought it was going to do, and you get mad thinking like, damn, I should have just did what I was thinking in the first place. I was right in the first place. And I imagine I can't speak for everybody, but I'm sure there's people out there who have had this exact situation happen, and probably not even just in trading and charts and things like that, but I'm sure it's happened in life. God knows it's happened to me more times than, well, so I could say that yeah, more times than I care to admit, but you get that gut feeling, that instinct, looking at the chart, and then as you flip through time frames, you start to see conflicting data, and all of a sudden you start losing confidence in that initial assessment. What are you going to do? It's a shoulda, woulda, coulda type of thing. It's too late now. So this video really more than anything is just a little reminder that quite often in life, things would work out so much better had I just trusted that gut instinct and went with it. And a prime example of that is, I remember I heard about Bitcoin back when it was like just a nerdy tech thing that nobody ever thought would go anywhere. And I forget when it was, but it was in the early 2010s. I mean, it was pretty early on. And I thought it was a great idea, and the fact that it cut out the central banking system was absolutely perfect. It was like, hey, awesome. That I hope it works out. Couldn't stand the larger system. I'll leave it at that. And I remember it kind of seeming sketchy though as to like how to actually buy some. And then I just kind of said F it and forgot about it for a little while, and then came back up later on after it like broke $100, and I actually was looking into like, okay, how does the mining work? How do you do this? And at the time I just had this like kind of beater laptop because My Alienware laptop took crap on me because it kept overheating and didn't have a desktop computer at the time. So I was like, I don't know. I'm like, do I really want to bog down the laptop? And God, what a stupid decision that was. But once again, I just didn't pay it enough attention and kind of out of sight, out of mind, forgot about it. And looking back at it now, it's like how life would be so much different had I even just done a little bit of effort at that time. I had that gut feeling that it was something cool and potentially special, but, life and all of its craziness kind of got in the way. And particularly around that time period, holy smokes, life was crazy. But brings you back to, kind of a seize the moment type of thing here. God puts unexpected doors in front of you from time to time, but only we can walk through them. I suppose you could, kick it open, run through it like trying to scare everybody inside, but depends how enthusiastic you are, I suppose. But fast forward back to the present, and, I just wanted to make this video more than anything as a reminder myself to remember to try to trust my gut instincts more often. And the big question then just becomes, when is it a gut instinct and when is it just a potentially wrong initial impression? So, now we're talking about discernment. And if trusting your gut is kind of the rule, then discernment is the skill. And I imagine there's probably plenty of people watching right now who've seen something in the charts, went in on a trade and had just face plant right into a loss. That experience, particularly repeated, can be a strong discouragement of, so-called trusting your gut. So where's the difference between that hopefully correct gut instinct and that bad call? I'm thinking it's in the skill of discernment that can only be learned through experience and a bit of planning. Now, obviously, the experience only comes with doing something and a bit just from learning about it as well. But, having some kind of plan or framework definitely helps to block out some of the noise and focus in on the important details. Particularly if you have things you're setting up ahead of time that to be likely or true, and then you can say, okay, and use that as kind of a crutch. But, seeing price action or indicators that you've seen many times, which end in a dump every single time you see it, when you look at the chart, will likely have your gut nudging your brain, like a hot girl just walked by giving you the elbow. The experience of having seen it before, form the basis of that instinct, and having some standard indications that you always look for can help confirm that instinct. And at that point, unless you see some major indicator pointing the opposite way, you can generally trust your gut and try to have that confidence in your decision. Now, kind of brings up flopping and groping. And I'm willing to bet is almost entirely caused by the lack of confidence in your analysis and your current position. Now, to be clear, one glance, one gut feeling, and no confirmation is barely removed from guessing. And so there is a distinction there between, the guessing and trusting your gut. And I'm not trying to say you shouldn't go like full send on a feeling, but when you do get that gut feeling, see if you can find some facts, some indications to back it up. Example be like if you see a hot girl walking her dog in your direction, you're outside, you're walking your dog, and sure, you could just wind up and take a shot. But if you take that extra second to see, what's her expression like? Is she talking on the phone to somebody at the moment? Does it look like she's purposely trying not to make eye contact with you? Or is she making eye contact with you? Or does she, look like she just walked away from an argument and wants to punch the first person to say a word to her? These are important details. And, not saying you can't overcome any of those factors, but a little quick analysis can help you make that decision with some more confidence, and confidence makes you a badass, and badasses are more likely to get their way in life, just saying. The universe abhors weakness, and the laws of thermodynamics would likely agree with me. But back to the charts. So if you pop open your Bitcoin chart, see a string of red candles, but see the last dip was slightly higher bottom than the previous, and that previous dip had some big long dumping red candles, you may be inclined to think that, it's at a bottom. Maybe you have this gut feeling it's done dumping, at least for the time being, and rather than just FOMOing in right then and there, take a quick look, if you're using Market Cipher, see if there's any divergence. other indicators have divergence too, but jump down to the 8-minute, see if you see any there. Jump up to the 30-minute, see how's that looking. Pop out to the hourly and the 4-hour just to see what the larger trend is looking like. And, the higher time frames are likely to be looking downish as well, depending on how soon after this you're at. But maybe the momentum is starting to clip. It's starting to roll sideways. Maybe the RSIs are starting to split. Come back to your normal trading time frame. And if there was really nothing to strongly dissuade you, keyword strongly, then send it, go in. And remember, if you go flipping through every single time frame that you have at the top of your chart, you are very likely to see conflicting indications. That's just the way it is. For whatever reason, if they're all pointing the same way, holy cow, do something. But if you're consistently having that problem and ending up in indecision, then to simplify your life, cut it down to, say, 5 time frames. Whether you want to do like the 8-minute to get like a smaller time frame, be like, okay, you're still kind of averaging out, these little swings. Because if you're going down to the 1-minute, each of these is just going to be constant chaos. Then, maybe you go up to the 12-minute, maybe that's your normal trading time frame. It's kind of what I've been using lately. Maybe you go up to the 24 just to jump up a little bit. Say, okay, well, we're kind of seeing a little bit smoothed out trends. Or you can use the 30. Oftentimes I tend to check that anyways, but come out to the hourly and like, okay, well, we had this big downswing. Kind of seems like we're in an up right now. Potential for going up. You hop out to the 4-hour. Okay, kind of confirm that a little bit. Shit, speaking of, this 4-hour is kind of like what I was just talking about, actually. Big red dumping candle, higher low. Who knows? Maybe going up. Did have a little bit of rejection right there, but it's still early to tell. Momentum coming up, starting to clip a little bit, but not going to call that bad just yet. Still on the upside with the VWAP. Money flow potentially crossing up very soon, unless it is starting to go sideways a little bit, but no, it's still kind of angled up. So, some potential there. But you kind of get what I'm saying. Like, don't go flipping through, I'm not saying you should never go flipping through all the time frames, but if you're like, okay, you're deciding whether or not to do a trade right now, this second, if you go flipping through every single time frame, like, okay, I'm going to be extra thorough. I'm going to double check if I see anything that is to the contrary of what I'm thinking, I'm going to hold off. Odds are you're going to hold off every single time because you're always going to see something to the contrary. And so just remember, trend is your friend up at the higher time frames, and to a point, if you're up here on the daily and weekly and we're like, oh, okay, this is all red going down, money flow coming down. Doesn't necessarily, you got to remember there's a lot of price action within these candles. So you could easily just, be scalping longs all throughout this downtrend. Because over here on the lower time frames, you're getting plenty of green candle movement in there. So, what do you guys think? What's your opinion on trusting your gut? Do you feel like it's gotten you in trouble before? To where, trusting your gut going in on trades, you were kind of feeling like, I keep having it reverse on me. Every time I go into a long, it starts coming back down or starts going down some more. Every time I think I'm buying the dip, it ends up dipping further. What do you think? And the one thing I would say about situations like that, and yeah, definitely had it myself, not saying I'm special or anything, but generally when something like that happens, it was one of two things. My initial analysis was just dead wrong, or I got, impatient, I lost confidence, or I just didn't stick in the trade. Quite often, if you're down here, maybe you get in a little bit late, you get in up here, let's call it like right at this line. And it's going up and you're, yay, it's going up. But oh no, now you're coming back and now you're in the negative because, you bought in up here. Say originally you had your stop loss here down below the previous low. and we're coming down here, do you get impatient and say, oh my God, it's turning back on me, it's going to just continue dumping all the way to the downside? Or do you stick with what you initially set up, your original plan, and say, okay, you know, if it breaks below this, for sure, downtrend's continuing. If it doesn't, I'm going to hang in there because, you know, money flow is coming up, RSIs were coming up, and my gut instinct originally was that we should be trending up. Now, obviously, looking at this one red candle, even though, yeah, you know, got a little red diamond, got a red candle, but in the grand scheme of things, it did continue up a little sideways and up a little bit further even. So that is the biggest reason why it helps to kind of have a plan, to know, you know, what indications you would generally be looking for, you know, specifically like divergences and things like that, because that can take it from just a gut feeling to, okay, we got some confirmation on that feeling, like I'm feeling good about it, let's get it. So, wow, 15 minutes. This is like the fastest damn video I ever made. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to hear it. What's your opinion on it? I'm not going to make this super long. Everybody's got a short attention span anyways, and it's a holiday weekend. So I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Hope you do something fun. Get outside. I know Northwest is going to be getting snow, so that's kind of crazy. But down here, it's supposed to get, I thought it was going to get hotter, but it's only going up to like 93 or something. So, you know, I'm going to try to get some hiking in, possibly even some camping, but we shall see. If I do, maybe I'll show you guys some pictures when I come back. All right, take it easy. Remember, you know, trust your gut, be a badass. Find something that can build your confidence in those gut feelings, and that extra confidence will certainly help in whatever it is you may be doing. And remember, life's short. If you see a pretty girl walking her dog down the street, don't pass up saying hi. You know you're going to regret it. I mean, unless you're married or have a girlfriend or something like that, then otherwise you may have some different regrets should you do that. But, you know, all my single dudes out there and single ladies, yeah, carpe diem, seize the day, or at least seize the moment. You know, life's too short for regrets. All right. Later, everybody.